From what I knew about tournaments, I thought you could get killed if you lost. You know, if you lost, you're dead. The way they trained us, nowadays you would go to jail. You know, for the way they trained us. If one person messed up, everybody suffered. You know, then full contact came along. Full contact, and I said, "Oh, they can't cheat me now." You know, Ron Chappelle, Jerry Smith, and Cliff Stewart started the Black Karate Federation because of all the prejudice and the cheating that was going on in the martial arts.
Now breathe. I want to coach him to breathe. One of the most important things you got to understand in fighting, right, is this. I'm going here. See the hit over there? Look at this hand. Watch his body.
My earliest memory of getting into martial arts, I started out watching Bruce Lee when he was Kato, the character Green Hornet. And then I didn't think at the time I would ever, you know, meet anybody that or would teach me. And so one day, me and my cousin were really close. We were more like brothers than cousins. And we used to hang out every day. And one day I saw my cousin in a karate gi sneaking around at the new neighbor's house. So I followed him over there, and they went into the garage and they were practicing karate. So I sat down and started watching. So then the karate instructor, who eventually became my main instructor, Donnie Williams, asked me to join in. And at that time, I was just starting a growth spurt. And so I was really clumsy and uncoordinated. And I jumped in the class and I did terrible. I just couldn't coordinate or anything. And I could see the frustration on my instructor's face. So, you know, I went home and thought about it. I said, I'm going to try to keep going because my cousin was going. And came back the next day, tried it, same results. Came back next day, same results. So this went on for about 3 weeks. And one night I was laying in bed, really frustrated at myself because I couldn't get the kata. You know, I couldn't just coordinate it. But I remember him saying it's like an H pattern. And I visualized it in my head, and I got up in the middle of the night and I did it. So I went back to class the next day and I had it right. And from then on it was downhill. And then he would tell me that I had long legs, so I should kick like Skipper Mullins. I'd never seen Skipper Mullins before, had no idea who he was, but I would practice my kicks. And then eventually we got a karate school. So, and he had hundreds of karate magazines. So I would read the karate magazines every day. Said, one day I'm going to be in these magazines. And I started reading about Skipper Mullins and other people. And I remember, God, I'm going to try a new kick or try this kick. And then eventually I started getting better and better at kicks. So I just kind of made kicks my arsenal. And that's basically how I got started, you know. Then tournaments came. One day, my karate instructor lived on my street. And one day I saw him on his motorcycle, and he had a karate trophy strapped to the back of his motorcycle. And I ran over and I said, "Oh man, that's nice. That's a nice trophy." And he goes, "Yeah, I got, tournament. Got in a tournament." And from what I knew about tournaments, I thought you could get killed if you lost. If you lost, you're dead. So one day I got enough nerve to enter a tournament, and I was so scared that when I walked, I left puddles of sweat on the floor because I was so nervous. I thought, well, if I lose, I'm dead, but I'm going to do it anyway. And then I watched, it was Smiley, I think Smiley's last name is Rodriguez, and Benny Uquatis. And they were black belts. I was a white belt. They were black belts at the time. And I said, "Yeah, they're about the same age as me." At that time I was 15, about 15, 14 or 15. I started watching them. I said, "Man, these guys are really good." I said, "Man, I want to get that good." And so then I started seeing them more and more, and eventually Benny was a little lighter than me, so I never fought Benny. He was a lightweight, and at that time I was a middleweight. And so I would alternate from middleweight to heavyweight, go back and forth. Eventually, I could never win a tournament until I turned brown belt, because I could kick to the head. And then I said, "Man, finally won." And the first trophy I had, I think I polished it every day. And just kept it around. I was so proud of it. Then I started winning more and more, and eventually made black belt. And when I made black belt, I didn't want to make black belt because we had an awesome team that we were going to fight in the internationals, a brown belt team. And they told me if I didn't take the black belt, I wasn't going to get promoted. I said, "Oh man, I'm going to miss the opportunity to win the championship with a brown belt team." So I took my black belt, and my first fight in the internationals was Al Dacascos. So I went to my instructor and I said, "I got to fight Al Dacascos." And I thought he was going to have some sympathy for me. And he looks at me and says, "You better win," and walked off. But I won. Didn't win the tournament, but I won that fight. And ironically, the very last tournament when I retired, I fought Al Dacascos' student. Yeah, and I won that too. Well, but then I won the whole tournament. In the beginning, after my formal introductory to martial arts and started training, maybe 2 years into training, on the weekends we would come to Los Angeles and study with one of my main instructors, Steve Sanders, who is now Steve Muhammad. And there were a lot of kids that were my age, so it made it really fun. But the training was really because they were out of the Marines, and Vietnam was going on at that time, and they were, just coming back. Most of them had spent a lot of time in Vietnam, so they trained us like we were in the Marines, and it was tough training. But now, now that I see that there's a total difference now. The way they trained us nowadays, you would go to jail, for the way they trained us. If one person messed up, everybody suffered, But it was hardcore training, but we learned how to fight. And they didn't prepare us for tournaments. They prepared us for the street, which I really appreciate. And unfortunately, I can't train people like that anymore because, nobody would understand. I guess the times are different, but eventually, after made my black belt and few tournaments, then full contact came along, full contact running, and I said, oh, they can't cheat me now, and I started that. And my first full contact tournament was at the sports arena, and it was going to be broadcast on the wide world of sports. And the way they trained us was nobody can beat you, and I had moved, me and my roommate had a brand new Camaro that his parents leased for him, and he let me drive it, and I wrecked it. And we had to fix it before his parents found out. And I was making $3 an hour back then, and there was no way I could come. It was only $1,500 then, but that was like $1 million back then. So I said, I got to do something to get this money, other than rob a bank, and that's not going to work out too good if I do that. So I was looking at the karate magazines, and I saw where they were going to have this full contact tournament, and prize money was $3,000 for first place. Second place, $2,000. And I said, oh, I'll just enter this full contact tournament. I know I'll win, and it was at the Bonaventure Hotel, the weigh-in. So I said, I'll just go down and crash, and, because I wasn't invited to participate in the tournament. I'll just go and talk my way into it, and I go down to Bonaventure, get in there. I see all the top fighters there. And I walk up to one of the promoters, and I said, and they go, what are you doing here? And I said, I came fight, And I said, well, all the divisions are filled up. So, we don't have you're the middleweight. We got middleweight, the only thing left open was heavyweight. And this guy is gonna fight, and at the time it was Monster Man. He was like the new heavyweight champion, and I could tell that the guy that was supposed to fight him was terrified. And I said, well, I'll fight heavyweight. I weighed 168 pounds, and they looked at me and they said, get on the scale. I stood on the scale, and I weighed 168, and they said, well, you can't fight because you're too light, I said, well, if I come back tomorrow and I weigh enough, can I fight? And they look at the other guy, and they look at me, and I say, I guess Sammy will be a better fight than him. And they kind of laughed because they knew I wouldn't weigh that much when I came back. And so they said, yeah, come back tomorrow. If you weigh enough, we'll let you fight. So I went home. And me being a naive young kid, I started eating everything I could. And all I did was manage to make myself sick from eating all the food. I woke up the next day, I gained 2 pounds.
Wow.
And I pooped that out that probably that day. So I said, man, I got to do something. Got to do something. Light bulb came on. So I take my cup and I take my cup out. I take 2 ankle weights and put them inside the cup. Strap on my jock strap, and safety pinned it up so I wouldn't slide down. And I hope they don't pat me down. And so I did that. I went in, got on the scale. I weighed 178. So that was enough. And the next day was the fight. I get to the arena, and they have me stay, they have the doctor check you out, and then they have you stand on the scale again, 168 pounds. So they're panicking, we can't say he weighs 168 and Monster Man was 225. And I said, well, just say I weigh 180. Nobody's going to know, And by this time, I think I went a little too fast. They're broadcast, that it's going to be on the Wide World of Sports. It's in the magazine. I tell my parents that I'm going to be on the Wide World of Sports. My dad's all proud. First only tournament he ever went to see me participate. And all my relatives, they're watching on television, and so I get to the sports arena, and it's my turn to fight, and I bust out like a madman, and I'm winning all 3 rounds, but my punches are like, and when Monster Man was hitting me, my first full contact tournament, I didn't realize I needed to cover up. I just thought I could take anything, and his punches are, and the last thing I remember was walking to the wrong corner and everybody motioning to me. And then the next thing I know, they said I stood up and waved to everybody that it was all right, because, I saw it on film. He threw a spinning heel kick, and I moved my head back, and the kick goes by, but my hands are down, and he spins with a spinning back fist. And that's what took me out, and I hit the ground like a potato sack. I woke up on the table in the dressing room, and I jumped up because I thought I slipped and fell. And his hand goes like this on my shoulder, said, "It's over, son." It was my dad. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, that's just one of my experiences in martial arts. But then, I became a good champion in full contact after that. I got the proper training from Jerry Smith, who was another one of my instructors. And when he used to teach us, you could always tell when he was mad, because he was a DI in the Marines, and he would come in with his Smokey the Bear hat on, and all white gi, perfect belt, and he would just let into us. But we learned. Yeah. We became good fighters, though. Yeah, it was good experience. Most of the black fighters in the Los Angeles area, we were a minority. Now it's saturated with people of color. All the black people that were in martial arts at the time were, some would be over here, some would be over here, but on the weekends we would all come together and work out. And then Ron Chappelle, Jerry Smith, and Cliff Stewart started the Black Karate Federation because of all the prejudice and the cheating that was going on in the martial arts. And they were, I think, Cliff and Ron were, Jerry was in the Marines and, at the time, and Cliff and Ron were UCLA students, and they moved things ahead. And that's how the Black Karate Federation, in a short version, got started, you know, and we would all come together on the weekends and work out. And then we became one, you know, once they started the organization, everybody just kind of left their main systems, and which was perfect because all those, you know, we Shotokan here, Goju-Ryu, Kempo, Kung Fu, Hapkido, Taekwondo, they all just kind of blended into, you know, if you spend every day working out with these people, it all blends into one thing. You know, you learn how to fight everybody, you know, every system. And then, you know, we were young kids, so we were pretty much brainwashed that, you know, nobody could beat us, you know. But it was, you know, I had the best time growing up and being involved in martial arts and being involved in the BKF. And I never considered at that time being one of the elders. Now I'm one of the elders, you know, and I was one of the, you know, out of the main 5 students that started, and I was one of them, you know. And but it was a time, you know. It was the timing was that time will never happen again, you know. Just the perfect storm, you know. And but you know, after all these years, we're still here.
Where do you think you would have been if you never started martial arts?
I asked myself that. Just an average Joe, maybe, you know. I'm sure I would have been in art, you know, some form of art, but maybe not as prolific or as involved as I am now in art. I think I would have been, you know, probably married, kids, white picket fence, you know. I hear a lot of my friends say I probably would have been in jail, but that wouldn't have been me. You know, my parents were, you know, if I would have went to jail, you know, I could have canceled Christmas, you know, because my parents wouldn't have had it, you know. My mom would always say, "You're gonna hurt your hands and you're not gonna be able to paint anymore," and I would think, you know, I didn't really care. And I got a scholarship in art when I was in high school. Backtrack. When I got the scholarship, I was going to school, but going to LA on the weekends to practice martial art. And the further I would get into martial art, the further I was getting. I wasn't concentrating on school. And I said, well, I got to figure out a way to stay in LA, you know, and but my parents aren't going to have it, you know. If I tell them I want to move to LA, you know, they're going to make me go to school. So I remember taking a trip when you're in high school and they take you on field trips to different colleges, and I remember going to Trade Tech College, and they train more on instead of fine arts, commercial art. Then it's called graphic arts now, but they called it commercial arts then. And I said, oh, light bulb comes on. And I said, I'll just tell my parents I want to start studying graphic arts because that'll make more money than fine arts. My dad will go for it, but I don't know about my mom. And I go back home on that Sunday from hanging out in LA, go back home, and I said, you know, I want to transfer schools and I'm going to go to Trade Tech because my found out that graphic arts makes more money, then, I'll have a job. Immediately, my mom said, no way, and my dad's thinking, oh, man, I'm not going to have to pay that high tuition, and I'm not going to have to pay books, and so he says, okay. And so he kind of overruled my mom, and my mom said, oh, bingo. So then I moved in with my instructor, and I've always been a jazz listener, and I had a little room that was basically a basement, but it was, I fixed it all up, and I was down listening to music, and my instructor comes in and goes, oh, that's nice music. I said, yeah. And then I felt really good, because he liked it. So then, and I started going to school. I transferred to Trade Tech, started going to Trade Tech, and then found out Jerry Smith, who eventually became my full contact instructor, was going there at the same time. When we got to karate school, I moved into the karate school, and I lived in the school for about 4 years. I actually, I opened, closed it when I wasn't at regular school, opened and closed it. I'd come home from school sometimes and walk in the dojo. One day I walked in, Richard Pryor sitting in there. And, and then one day I walk in, Flip Wilson's there, walking, and all these celebrities, Isaac Hayes would come down. Yeah, I experienced a lot, there. It was a fun time, Then I got my first apartment. That's when I wrecked my roommate's car, and every once in a while I would do a piece of art, but not anything serious. And then eventually I started working at Hughes Aircraft. And the desk pads that have the little leather corners, and you stick the calendar inside, yes. Yeah, and you peel it off. Well, I would doodle on mine every day, make these elaborate scenes. And this lady would come by my cubicle and look at, see how it would progress. And one day she said, "You're wasting your time here." And I didn't really think about it. And then she came back the next day and said, "You're really wasting your time here. You shouldn't even be doing this, So then I eventually quit. I quit working, and that's when I went to Germany, living with my sister. And she went on a fashion tour to Paris, but I would paint out of boredom. And she sold a piece, and I thought, oh man, I could do more of this, and I started painting. And then I moved back to the States, and I said, when I was in Paris, I was involved with a group of street artists that would just hang around, and then at night we would go to the cafes and we would talk about art, politics, drink wine, and just hang out, and that was great. And I said, when I move back to the States, I want to experience the same thing as I did here. And but I couldn't find a group like that. Everybody was kind of scattered. I met a few artists. A couple of them were really arrogant and rude. And one day I was at the Afro-American History Museum and looking at the shows, and one of the docents, I started talking to her, and she said, "You should come back tonight and to the opening." And I said, "Well, I kind of live kind of far, and I'm not dressed for it." She said, "Just come like you are." And when I went back to the opening that night, I saw all these black artists, and that was amazing to me, because, I had never ran into that many before. And this one guy, he just staring at me and staring at me. And I wanted to get a glass of wine, but he's by the bar, and I kept thinking, man, what is this guy looking at? So I go, and he says, "You don't remember me, huh?" And I said, "No, sorry, sir, I don't." And he goes, "I'm such and such. He was a friend of mine. The first black guy I met at a karate tournament. It was his student, but he met me years ago, and I just didn't remember." And he's the one that started connecting me to all the other artists. So I said, well, I want to get a job involved in the arts. And he worked at LA County Art Museum. So he helped me get in, and I started working there, and I worked there until I retired, But that was the best experience. But getting back to the group of artists, and that night, there was a jazz band there, and they started playing, and the artist that they were featuring walked in, and he eventually became one of my art mentors. He walks in, and he has a flute, and he started playing along with the band. I said, man, this is it. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. And eventually, after I became friends with the other artists, I found a brochure, and work was similar to mine, but I really liked this guy, and I kind of started researching the guy, and I showed a friend of mine. I said, man, look at this. And he goes, yeah, I like that. And he said, I really wish I could meet this guy. I thought he lived in New Orleans. And he goes, yeah, that's Bill Pajot. He lives right down the street. And I said, you got to take me over there to meet him, And he said, yeah, I will. A few weeks later, I finally meet him. And he just greeted me, like he'd known me for years. And so we eventually became friends, and I would go over all the time and listen to him and watch him. And he showed me techniques, and I learned a lot from him. Yeah.
So how do you spend your days now?
Painting. I wake up, I have a cup of coffee, and unfortunately a donut, and then I will watch the news, find out what's going on in the world, and then I go out back to my studio, and I stay there until sometimes 6 or 7 o'clock at night, and then I'll go, except Monday and Wednesday. I teach on Monday and Wednesday, and work out in martial arts, and that's how I spend my day. I love to paint and create things. Especially things find junk and make it into art. I really like that.
You found the peace, the inner peace.
Yeah, I did. I finally learned what that lady would always tell me, that I was wasting my time, and that resonate. I wish I could see her again to tell her or let her see what I'm doing now. And also with my mom. Well, my mom was still alive when I really got back involved, and she came to a couple of my shows, and that's what I enjoy the most, of having an art show and having people come in and experience what I've done, and seeing the effect that has. Sometimes it's good, maybe sometimes not good, but I enjoy it, If they don't like it, I like it, And it's weird because the things I think are, man, people are going to love this piece, and they walk right by it, and look at something that I didn't really care about and say, man, this is great, you know. I find that to be amusing. Yeah.
Next up, Sifu Harinder Singh, Sabharwal.
What's good, everybody? How you guys doing? All right, let's come on in. Everybody get a blade. Get a blade and come on out. Okay, we're gonna move. I'm so glad to be here again. Grandmaster Darren Tabone, thank you so much. It's so good to see all the Grandmasters and Masters here and all you wonderful people training together, growing together. So one of the things I want to do is let's get moving right away. Bring a little bit of a sweat. And then I've had a lot of requests for trapping. You guys want to do some trapping today out of boxing? Something like that? Sound like fun? Yeah? I saw my boy over there light up, yeah? Okay, so let's do that. But one of the most important things is that we have to learn to move. And the blade is one of the greatest teachers of moving. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have one partner with the blade and the other partner is going to not have a blade on them. Does that make sense? We're gonna do a simple warm-up drill. Mr. Olson, can I borrow you, sir? Okay, so we all know angle 1, angle 2, right? Come across, 3, 4, 5, might be different numbers in your different systems. But what the key is that I wanna use the blade for boxing purposes to make me move. All right, so when he's going here, he throws, I'm just gonna watch the blade and move. I'm gonna watch the blade and move. I'm gonna pike out, and then take the leg away. And after you see the 5 come. So you watch the blade and move. Keep your eyes on the blade and move. Wait till the last minute to move. See where there's tension in your body, and get rid of that tension. That's the point of this drill, yeah? No tension. Because what happens when something comes to us? This, right? Tension, repeat after me. Tension is enemy number 1. Tension is what gets you killed. Because tension makes you hold your breath. So while you're doing this simple drill, what I want you to be aware of is, are you breathing? Or are you so fixed on watching the blade? Does that make sense? Let me show you again. So he's gonna feed angle 1, I just move. And I just move out of the way. Here, I just pike. You see how let him touch me? Watch, give me the 3 again. I don't want you to make a big motion like that. I want him to be right over. I want that. I want to be right on it. Does that make sense? So he goes 1, I just roll. 2, I roll. 3, I pike. He cuts the leg, I hang the leg. I split step and get out of the way on the 5. Make sense? Let's go, baby, let's go. Yes. 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 Okay, come in. You are the leader, okay? So just move. See, I'm moving first with him. And then I feed. Now I'm moving, I'm watching. And then I feed. Now I'm moving and I'm watching. Then I feed. And then I feed. Then I change my level and I feed. You see it? Move with it. Don't be standing like this, please. Okay? I want you up on your feet. Thrust at him. Now I'm just watching move. I change the level. Come with the 5. Come with an edge. Whoa, there you go. Here. Whoa. You see the idea of sticking and connecting and following. Let's go. The blade, when he's feeding me, the feeder is the leader, right? But can I be the leader? I could, right? Because I don't want to wait. He goes here. Do you see that waiting? Don't wait. Here, oh, there, I'm out of the way. Let's get out of the way. Come in, I come out. Make my feet move. Step forward, come out of the way. Roll. You got it? Play with it, but attack it with your feet. Don't wait. See? And then don't wait. Do you see that? You're waiting. Don't be waiting. Look at this. I juke one way and come out the other way. Can we get? I juke this way, I come off this way. It goes here. I pike out, I cut the angle. See, I cut the angle. You see how I'm making it lunge at it? Because I'm moving. It's like I want you to be a curtain. Pull the curtain away. Like on a matador, I want to be the curtain. So when he's coming here, I just wait. I just wait. Stay relaxed. Stay relaxed. You're going one way, go the other. Got it? Go. So when you're at home, you can take up a little bit of the stress inoculation. Come over here. Okay, in my hand, let's have a little bit of taser. All right, so you go ahead and get moved. Here you go. Take one way, come back the other. Now, here. And now breathe. I want to coach him to breathe. One of the most important things you got to understand in fighting, right, is this. When that moment gets there, you have to coach them out of the tension. So I got to bring him down by slowing down my feet. Breathe. Just watch. Okay. No big deal. No big deal. Today's a good day to die. We're gonna die one day. Go, go, go. Here it comes. I just want you to see that you can train and train safely, but the most important thing is, are you managing your breathing? Are you connecting to your partner? And are you communicating with your partner? I need to communicate with him. If I see him get stiff, I gotta, hey, breathe, relax. Calm down. The mastery in a fight or in life is your ability to identify tension and bring yourself down. Does that make sense? Because you're gonna get tense. Shit's gonna hit you. But how quickly can you come back to zero is the most important thing. All right, guys, warmed up? Let's do some trapping, some boxing trapping. Blowing away some limbs. Okay, come on, put your blades, tuck them away. Let's go for the first one. Okay, so we're going to work two concepts today. One is going to be the high-low high, changing levels, and the other one is like a little bit of a crossover, yeah? Going laterally. First thing, if he throws me a jab, you've seen this many times, right? How many of you here know Hubud? Hubud, okay, he's done Hubud. What do we, regular Hubud? Go, raise, slap, hit. Yes, everybody here familiar with that, right? Okay, now, so we just go from here and he'll just jab me here. So I can go to the outside and come in. I can go to the inside and come in. I can go under. Under is kind of tough on empty hands. You see what I'm saying? Under works better with stick and stuff like that. I can go to the outside and take the trap. I go to the inside and take the trap. But if you notice, when I go to the outside, where did my head go? I slip. You got, I got to be able to light them up to the body just as well, right? If boxing's not there, it won't work. If I just stand here and go like this, the drill, I'm going to eat the hook right away. You see how he'll just run it? But if I go here, you see there's the shot where I want to come out. So it's important your angling and your head movement. But the drill I want you to do today is going to be simple. We're going to build up a counter drill, okay? I'm going to jab and he's going to parry with his lead hand and instantly return a back fist. Did you guys see that? And I need to keep this hand right here. You see it? So here. So now, boom, that's where the shot's going to come out. So slowly, boom. Which way am I traveling? In. Okay? If you're going to trap, you have to bridge the gap and go in. You can't be doing this. Staying out here, that's when you'll get countered. So if I'm going here, boom, I'm ready for that return. So instead of starting here, boom, boom. Can you see it? Boom, boom. Boom, boom. See, I have this already here. Boom, then the shot's just going to come out of there. So he comes here, boom, boom, man, that's how we can take the traps. But first step first, boom, boom, bang. Got it? Go. Roll it. Check it out. As soon as I go here, slow, boom. Where's the opening? Right there. Okay, and I have to zone. So you go, take it here, and then you're gonna come right up off the top. Okay, so slow, bam, 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 bam. That's gonna be for free afterwards. Okay, so what are we doing? High, low, high, low, high. Got it? See it again? I'm ready for his counter and I shift. The key is to shift and drift this hand. Then from here, the body mechanics, once I go here, look at my waist and hip, in change of level. I have to drop right down there. Now this loads this hip to come right back up, boom. Now that loads the knee, boom. And then dropping down with the headbutt. Body mechanics is everything. So if I go here, boom, 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 shift, come up, hit the groin, headbutt, change the base. And that's where you can take it to the head. Make sure when you have to headbutt, you change the base. Or change the base first. Okay? Boom, 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 bang, bang, bang. Change, hit, ride it, hit the headbutt, and come in. Wanna try? Go. Block that one. Then shoot this one down and come back up. Okay? Okay, thank you. So when you're doing your hoobut, okay, make sure when you're doing your hoobut, you're in a stance and you're not square. Okay, I'm in a stance, it's going here, I'm moving, we're circling, we're moving. Now here's the shot. I come up, catch it, there you go, back to the hoobut. See? So you can play it out of the structure to practice. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have a little bit of time. So I want to show you some concepts that you can take home to play with. Let's go to another one off him to throw the jab. Okay? When he throws the jab here, boom. Take this as a distraction and go straight to the eyes. One motion, scissor, right? So he goes here, boom, there's the shot. Now I'm gonna practice on touching his shoulder. And he's gonna try to catch it. So he goes here, boom, okay? So here, and that's free. So you just send it the other way. See it slow? 1, 2. My body changes the angle. You see it? When I go here, boom, my body changes the angle. I lean this way, my body changes the angle. Just like Steph Curry, pop out. My Warriors fan, Bay Area up in here, right? Here. Okay? Want to try it? You see it again, slow? The jab comes, there's the destruction. Here, here, and then it goes straight forward. And there's your free shot. This trapping without trapping. Does that make sense? Go to the eyes, get the hands up, go around, and slide. Go. When he shoots here, you see, you just change. I'm not looking for another shot like a trap. I'm trapping while I'm hitting. So I make him chase. Make him chase. Here you go. I make him chase that side. Because if he doesn't, I want this to come home from this side. Put down. So now if he goes, go ahead. Don't let me catch. Don't touch it. You see how you're in already. That makes sense? You go, bang, you're already in already. So it's important that you get good. You see how that shot is coming, boom, right over here. Many times if you want to enter with your eye jab, right, what you want to see is, okay, you're going to play defense. Okay, if I go like that, what does that tell me?
He's blocking. He's parrying.
With which hand? Okay, and he goes, boom. If I go like that, what does that tell me? Parries with what? The front hand. So the first shot is always going to be here, touching the eyes, touching the eyes, touching the eyes, touching the eyes. Now I see, whoop, bang, and then you come right after. Because you want to see what he's going to do. Because you really want to practice it. Okay, so one good way to practice, if you want to practice your trapping and eye jabs, you got to practice in boxing and give him the punches to box, where he's really trying to hit you. Does that make sense? So we're not pulling. When we're practicing together in a seminar, we're pulling. I just want you to show you the method. So he's going, go ahead, pum pum. Sometimes there's a smooth, there's the destruction. Boom, there's the next shot. Boom. And then always, boom, there's the groin. Boom. So we want to target the groin. So I say the art is of 4 circles. These 2 and these 2. So when he's moving, boom, there's the shot to the groin. He comes again, there's the shot to the groin. Does that make sense? When you practice it, you want to get it out there so that somebody's actually hitting at you. And then go ask a professional boxer to box with you. Put a helmet on and see if you can touch his eyes. That becomes the first thing. If I want to trap, there's the trap. You see? There's the trap. There's the trap. There's the shot to the groin. There's the shot over the top. There's the kick. Boom. You gotta practice this way. You notice I'm talking the whole time. So you have to be able to manage your breathing so you don't get tired. Okay, so last drill we're gonna do, everybody get your knives. Get your knives, get your knives. Okay, we're gonna do a 2-on-1 feed. 2 people have a knife, the other person doesn't. This is for your attributes and for your movement. Okay, so let's feed him. Let me show you how to properly feed. Ready? Go. Okay, now watch. Come back here, feed me. Don't stay in front of the person. Ready? Go. Can you relax? The more they feed, the more can you zone in and relax. Ready? 2-on-1. Let's go. Set. Ready, ready, ready. To see how are you going to act and react. To see, are you holding your breath? If you walk away with one thing today, it's a B war, okay? Say B war. B war. B stands for your breath. You have to manage your breathing because E is your energy. If you lose your breath, you're going to lose your energy. The worst thing in the world is when you're tired and they're beating down on you, right? So from there, if you have B, breath and energy, you get to be in the moment. Next, W, watch. You have to watch the person so you can follow them. Before you do something to them, you have to get used to following them and joining with them. From there, we can adapt to what they're going to do, and from there, we can choose a response. Please just grab those 2 sticks. What I love about the Filipino martial arts, one of the best things, my favorite things is the drills build a level of coordination that's out of this planet. And when you want to learn how to trap, hi, thank you. Come back in 2 minutes. So one of the favorite things is, as I wrap this up in the last 2 minutes, is that the stick teaches your hands how to move. So when you want to learn how to trap and how to box, you have to be really good with the stick and the coordination. You know, a simple drill like you're doing shumbrada. As you're doing, you start to add in the fakes. You start to add in the fakes. There's a hand stick. You bridge the gap. Come in and start to feel and flow. Where is the trap going to come from? Where are you going to get it from? Does that make sense? While still staying totally chill. Because when the fight comes, which way are you going to go? Up. Tension rises. Relaxation falls. If your eyes get big like this when you're going to do something, you're telling them you're going to do something. When your eyes get big when somebody hits you, you're telling them. You got to be like a ghost. Okay? Last thing I'll leave you with. The Warrior's Creed. Repeat after me. Wherever I go, everyone is a little bit safer. Wherever I am, anyone in need has a friend. And when I come home, they're happy to see me because it's a good life. Thank you so much.
Everybody. Oh, no, come on. How's everybody? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We need that energy. We got to build up that energy before lunch. All right? So we want to have a nice appetite. All right, so listen. One of the things I want to talk about is small circle jiu-jitsu. Okay? Finger lock. How many have heard of Grandmaster Wally J? Okay, only 1 or 2, that's all? Oh, 3, 4, 5, 6, all right. So one of the misconceptions about small circle and finger lock, 2 things. 1, when you do a finger lock, you're supposed to break the finger. How many have heard that? Oh yeah. Not true. Not true. You never want to break the finger, ever. Okay? But you do want to put it on the verge where the person thinks his finger is going to get broken. That's a different type of pain. Okay? The next thing is like finger locks does not work in a fight. How many's heard that? Oh, come on, you can raise your hand because I follow folks all the time that make those statements and get comments, okay? Not true. But what we're going to do first, Tim, can I use you, please? We're just going to go over a couple of locks, and then some of these locks I'm going to end up using in a little bit of this example of things. All right? First thing I'm going to do is index finger lock. You can come a little closer. Index finger lock, number 1. Okay? I don't want to grab. If anybody tells you they was trained with Grandmaster J, and you see them grab a finger like this, as the tip of the finger is over the web of the hand, they never train with Grandmaster J. Okay, so never believe that. You know why? If I go to put him in a finger lock, all he needs to do is take and press as if he's pressing a button, and it's difficult for me to lock him out. Now I'm using force. All your power is in the tips, the pads. So basically what I want to do, I want to go here. So now what he's going to do now, he's going to try to bend his finger. Okay? I'm not using muscle. It's wrist action. So can I get everybody to give me about 10 of these? Both hands go 1, 2, 3. Can you count with me? 4, 5, open the door. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now Now we're gonna make this fun, okay? I want you to grab right to right with a partner, left to left with a partner. And we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, at least 8 times. Okay, remember, I am not doing this. You don't hear him yelling and screaming. How do I know this works? Why is he going down? Look at this, watch my hand. See his shoulder? This is all I need to do to know that this works. Watch his shoulder. Right there, that's it. Drop, lock, finger to the floor. That's it. Grab a partner. Don't hurt your partner. Let's go. Let's move it. We got a lot of stuff to do. A lot of stuff to cover. Let's move it. Take Tim, listen. Take 2 fingers of your partner. Okay, they'll last longer. All right. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now you see the rest of my body? Now watch my body. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's work it. Let's go. Let me see. Okay, so flexible fingers. Okay, so that ain't gonna work. Okay, what I need to do is make this circle tighter and look, drop and lock. Watch his body. There he is.
So what did you do?
Give me your fingers. I'll show you. Right here, drop. Okay, now let me say this. If you try to fight it, it's gonna hurt you. Relax.
Okay.
Trust me. Look at his face. Trust me. Okay. Drop and lock. Relax. Extend. There you go. Look. Drop and lock. Extend. Drop and lock. Extend. All right, y'all ready? Here we go. Let me point something out real quick. Y'all ready? Here's another thing. If I'm doing a finger lock, and I'm going drop and lock, I want you to watch. Come over this way. Watch his body. If I drop my hand down this way, it gives him space. It gives him space to do what? Hit me in the mouth. Look, watch his hand. Okay? I want his elbow. Watch my hand. I'm going to take my hand with a little twist. Now, same exercise, but look what I do with his arm. His elbow goes in toward his body. In toward his body. So my drop and lock is here. There he is. I like him today, so I'm not going to hurt him. Okay? Drop. Yes. Who called me? Drop and lock. So watch his elbow slowly. It's not about how fast you do it. How accurate are you? Understand what you're doing. Drop, lock, with a little what? Twist. Now I'm going to point my finger to the floor. Watch where he goes. Let's try it. Get a partner real quick. Let's go. We got to keep this moving. We got a lot of stuff. As soon as I point to the floor, look what happens to his body. He dissolves. Oh. Okay. All right. So, how you doing? Good. Yeah, having fun.
Yeah, I found somebody else I was talking to. So I would like to do it. I'm waiting for you.
All right. So here we are. This is how we're just working the drill. See the elbow? See the elbow? Drop and lock. Feel the tension right there? I point to the floor. Relax.
I thought you were doing a second.
No, that was it.
We were doing the other one already.
That's the index finger lock. So the next thing is when we talk about wrist locks. Wrist locks. So we see people talk about wrist locks sometimes, and what they do, they grab their hand real tight, and they're trying to force it. And here's where they're forcing it, right there. Shouldn't take that. What you need to understand, everything, this principle is all about drop and lock. Drop and lock. So I want you to be stiff. Watch his body. Drop and lock. Drop and lock. See the leverage? He says, what the hell? Okay, drop and lock. On the drop and lock, all I'm going to do, I'm going to roll my fingertips in toward my belly button. Okay? So Grandmaster Jay used to say this. He used Aikido as an example, not disrespecting Aikido. Okay? But between here and here, he said that's a wasted circle because nothing happens until the hand comes to the belly button. That's where the throw is. All right? That's where the throw. So he eliminated this play and just went here. Right there. So 2 hands down to my belly button. I roll my fingertips in toward my navel and upward and watch his body. Okay, so here's the thing. The point of this is, if I have to show you how to do a wrist lock and I have to hurt you, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Because it doesn't take that tip. Okay? Wrist lock. Here he is. All right? Slowly. Wrist lock. Drop lock. Here's my belly button. Roll into my navel. There he is. Do you see how his body starts to completely turn? Okay, get a partner. Let's go. Do not take your partner all the way down. This is far. Here's another way to look at it. Thank you. Right here. Drop and lock. Belly button. So here. Okay. Go. Okay. Now, okay. You keep it here. Remember what I just said about your fingertips? Roll them in toward your belly button. And then watch my shoulder. Go. There we go. That's it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We having fun yet?
Yeah, we're having fun.
Okay. Put your right leg forward. Put your right leg forward. There we go. Try it again. Okay. Here's the next thing. Look. Okay, young man, real quick. Listen up. Come on, young lady. I want her. Not wrong. I had to find somebody I could take advantage of. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. But listen. Here's another mistake. We grab the wrist. We're grabbing at the hand. We're all up around the first 2 knuckles. That's no. Your thumb should be right under the last 2, right there. Should not be rolling over the top. Because to control the wrist and the hand, I need the baby finger to be rolling this way. Okay? So if I go here and she turns her hand back towards me like this, ready? There it is. Feel me? Go. Turn it back. See that? Go. Turn it back. Why is she able to counter it? Okay? Look at the technique. Turn it back. Turn it back. Turn it back. You see? So it's the control of the locking point. All I'm trying to show you, the locking points would make it work. All right? Let's see here. Thank you. All right? I told you could trust me. All right. Now, let's go to the part does locking work in trapping? All right, Tim. So, as you saw Sifu sing, where's Sifu Sing at? Yo. Yes, sir. Okay. By the way, Sifu Sing is also my JKD instructor. Okay, just to let it know. He knows. Okay. My connection is between small circle jiu-jitsu and Jeet Kune Do. Okay, because of the relationship of Grandmaster Jay knowing the truth. All right? So just to let you know. Here we go. So, if I pock his hand, slap his hand, and I throw a backhand to him, what's he doing? What's he doing? Well, what's he, but what? Blocking. Yeah, he's blocking. So what we're going to do with our partner, we're going to pop and backhand. Pop and backhand. Pop and backhand. Get a partner. Keep that hand up so you don't get hit. Let's go. Let's move it. We've got a lot of stuff to do yet.
Yes. Talking about him.
Usually you can't.
If I go here at home, that's to control. Right. That's when that one
To wake up. So there's two ways to look at this. I can pot and go direct where he what? Holds center line. Right? He holds it. But I can block and throw, pot and go back fist, and he what? He crosses center line. All right? Why? I can go straight. He holds center line. He crosses center line. Get with your partner. Let's go. Don't go too fast. Don't want you to be getting hit in the mouth today.
You're gonna block me.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
Hold.
We'll do two. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So you cross center line. You see it?
Yeah.
Kind of how I threw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, straight and center. Partner, switch your partner so your partner can have a chance. Let's go. One of the things that I like about what I see, that everybody is being respectful and really trying to apply themselves to learn. That's what these events are about. Exchanging and sharing information. It's not about one system being better than the other system. Because once you understand it, the system becomes universal. You incorporate. All right, here we go. So we're going to get him first to cross from a backhand center line. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to wedge and just show my hand. Okay? Again, I throw the backhand, I wedge. Okay? Usually toward the eye. You notice how I'm going across right there? Right? So watch. Just take your time. You can do this. You can take this home with you. Right here. See the motion? Okay? Watch the other hand. See what I did? Watch again. Cross it. Look. See how he's over there? Change his angle. I'm going here. See the hit over there? Look at this hand. Watch his body. Watch again. Backhand wedge. Hit. Oh! There he is. All right. See it? Look. There's an uppercut. There's a hammer fist. It's all right there. It's all right here. One more time. I'm going to go from here. Look. Look, there's his groin. We want this thing in a hurry. There we go. Does a split for me. All right. Now, what we're going to do is this. The pot, backhand wedge, hit, come down, control the two, index finger and the next one. Drop it, secure it right here to control what? The pads of his finger. Drop it down in a horizontal position as if I had a blade. All right. I was doing a number 4. So look at the motion. Okay, I'm not going to cut him. Look. Number 4. See the motion? Let's work. The pot. Yuji, backhand. Put your hand on top of the other person's hand, and some of my instructors will help you. Let's go. I don't know how much time we have. I hit, I came back down, secured that finger. This time he's going to hold center line. So I'm going to go straight. Okay? After I go straight, watch my hand. Again, I go straight and I turn my palm toward him. Again, I turn my palm toward him. So now I want you to watch the lock. Here he is. My knee is bent. Look where he is. Look where. One more time. Go, come on up. I'm coming straight. He holds center line. Now I want you to watch my body, because now we're making this kind of live, right? I go. Now look where he is. Slowly. Straight. Slightly move over. Palm. Drop your weight. So now I'm hooking the base of his thumb. Here's my lock. I twist, drop, belly button, watch his body. There he is. Let's go! Get a partner! Slow as fast, less is more. To give you an idea that locking can work. Locking can work if you feel and understand the sensitivity behind what you're doing. Okay, it can work. It does work. Use it. All right, so here's another little drill for you. Okay, this is actually a rep. Okay, you're not going to count. This person is going to throw a hook. Okay, I'm going to do the first 5 moves here. First 5 moves. This is what it's going to look like. I'm going to block the hook, punch simultaneously at the same time. Next motion, I'm going to take my hand as if this was a dagger, but I'm going to keep it open, and I'm going to chop right across his jaw. So it's going to look like this. He throws, I hit, you see what first starts happening to his body when I simultaneously hit him? And here's my body. You see how I don't stay here and do this? My body is moving. All right? So now watch what happens with the second hand. Here's 1, look. 2. Look at 3. Look at 4. Look at 5. One more time. I block, hit simultaneously, hat, 3, 4, 5. Now notice, I don't care if 4 goes into his his eye, goes into his throat, goes on the side of his neck. I don't care. I put him off balance. So my energy looks like this. I'm generating what? My weight forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Notice I'm always staying what? Close. 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 All right, slowly. Everybody do this with me. 1. Oh, no. Nah. Let's try it again. 1. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, one more time with Tim. Let's go, Tim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go with your partner. Walk through it. Do not hit your partner. It's working. And the right hand hits the rope.
Then going straight up, shoots at an angle. And then this other hand's coming up underneath. 1, 2, don't turn your fist What? Bam! Now, bam! Yes, boom!
Made a difference. Okay? That's 1. Look, this is 2. No, you're gonna hit it like this. Okay? This. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Because my nickname is Escrima. What's good, everybody? How you guys doing?
Closer and then sit down.
My name's Joe Cordova. I'm supposed to be here with my father. Okay, so today, thank you for having me. I know this is kind of... Stick in a random outside drill. I do take it up. I take that. These are lock, step, lock. So you can do pretty much a lot of crossbar. Bam, bam. First one. Bam, bam. Number 2. Bam, bam.
Backhand wedge. Hit. Oh.